Okay, you're good.
Okay, you can go ahead and get started. Yep.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I am calling to order the May SORB board meeting. I am Mindy Ackerman. I am sitting in for Frank, who is absent today. I am vice chair. Tracy, can I get a roll?
Yes. So Mindy Ackerman, who was just speaking, Liz Bigham,
Here.
Sheriff Brown,
Here.
Jerry Bruce,
Here.
James Chapin, he was on. Okay, we lost James.
Oh, he's there. I see him.
I see him. I just
Oh,
don't
there
know
he
if
is.
can hear us.
James Chapin,
Here.
Robbie Frederick,
Here.
Katie Gropper,
Here.
Jim Morton,
Here.
Lori Rozier,
Here.
Megan Thurman.
Here.
Both Frank and Bert had let me know that they could not attend the meeting today. We do have a quorum of 10 people.
Okay. I'm going to read SORB's mission statement. I'm sorry, I'm echoing. Can you guys hear that, or is it just me?
I think it was Sheriff Brown's phone, so I just put him on mute.
Okay. All right. SORB's mission statement. Our purpose and mission is protecting Georgia's children and communities at large by identifying convicted sexual offenders that present the greatest risk of sexually reoffending. It is the board's responsibility to determine the likelihood that a sexual offender will engage in another crime against a victim who is a minor or a dangerous sexual offense. Assessments will be used by the SORB to determine the risk level of the offenders. Offenders will be classified as a level 1, level 2, or sexually dangerous predator. Was somebody talking? I keep
I
hearing all this.
muted him. I think it was just interfering.
Okay. Have all members received and had an opportunity to review the minutes from our last board meeting?
Yes.
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 Any questions, comments, concerns?
No. No.
Okay. Can I get a motion to adopt the minutes?
So moved, Robbie.
Lori, second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Moving on through the agenda, I don't believe we have any reports of officers or standing committees. I believe those are inactive. Does the board have any unfinished business to discuss? Okay. Any new business to discuss?
I probably would go back to the unfinished business, Minnie, just in the sense of maybe we can check in with Elizabeth regarding the discussion about board, any information about as we get more and more cases.
Okay. Going back to unfinished business.
I'm sorry.
Elizabeth, do you have any updates or follow-ups for us? You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Still on mute.
I've explored some of the possibilities internally. I am assessing the documentation that exists both within the code, the proposed bylaws, and the rules and regulations that exist that are promulgated by the state. And I'm also working with a couple of my colleagues who have done similar types of things to see if there is some method or methodology that we can put in place that would allow for separation of maybe some of that kind of responsibility. But But I would appreciate the opportunity to actually have a meeting maybe with the board, or at least with the chairman and the assistant chair, and discuss those before presenting it to the board as a whole.
Okay. We can schedule a meeting.
Thank you.
All right. Any new business? Okay. Moving on to the executive director's report.
So really the only thing that I wanted to put out there is if anyone has, and some had sent us some emails, I forwarded those to Marcus, topic requests for the educational series that we do following the board meetings each month, which we are not doing one today because it came so quickly after the retreat. So Marcus will be working on those. He's also coming up with topics that he knows would be good for the board, but anything you can think of that you in particular would like to know more about, especially obviously regarding risk assessment and doing your job for the board, please let me and Marcus know, and he'll add that to his list of topics, because we're going to be creating that, and we'll let you know a list next month. So if you could get that anything to us within the next couple of weeks, that would be great. And that's really all that I have.
Okay. Marcus, were you going to say something? You look like you were.
Oh, I was going to say, one of the lists that Tracy gave me had assessing risk in women, CSEM offenders, and risk reducing offenders on it. And I believe 2 of those we've done, the CSEM and the risk reducing factors. So I just wanted to remind people of that.
Correct.
And we also did static risk factors already. So just wanted to kind of review what we have done, but I'm certainly open to doing anything.
Did we record those trainings by chance of Marcus? If some of the board members missed it? Did we record it or no?
You know,
I
I
think we
I
have
don't
the
think so.
slideshow part, the slides.
The PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We are moving on to the deputy director's report.
Hey, good morning. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was having some audio issues. Just some updates on the office. We got a quote that's been approved to give us the office space we need for $202,000. Demo was supposed to start yesterday on our office space, and we're meeting with GBA, the building authority, and the contractors on Tuesday to discuss the timeline. They're saying 6 to 8 weeks. As time goes on, we'll see if that's holds true or not, but that's where we're at with the office space. So we're finally making progress. And next month meeting, June 12th.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Moving on to the investigator report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been out and wasn't able to attend last month, but to give an update of where we had the new hires and stuff in the middle of February, just to kind of give you an idea, we last month 181 cases were closed by investigators, and as compared to 119 in January. So those numbers should steadily increase as these 6 new hires that started in February start getting more and more up to speed. The numbers should still increase even more from our side. But that's all I have.
All right. Thank you. And now the clinical evaluator report. You're on mute, Amanda.
Helpful to unmute myself. Good morning. I have nothing new. You may see 1 or 2 new people in June. They are all done with Marcus as of right now, so they've all moved over to me. So you may see a couple of new reports in June of new people, but you certainly will by July. You will be seeing some new names. So that's all I have for right now.
All right, thank you. We can move on to our review of the cases. Tracy, can you briefly explain the leveling process?
Yes, so we receive cases of new sex offenders who are registered either through GBI. We get a list with out-of-state sex offenders coming into Georgia. And just give you an idea, we get anywhere between 25 to 65 new sex offenders from out of state every single month. We also get a list from pardons and parole, meaning those sex offenders who are incarcerated who are getting out sooner than their max out date. We get a list from Department of Corrections that within the next year, they give me a year in advance notice of who will be getting out of prison based on their calculations. We also get regular information from the clerk of court. So when somebody is newly convicted, each county, which there's 159 in Georgia, is supposed to be notifying SORB of when somebody has been convicted of a sex offense. There are some who are placed on probation. So if we're not notified by the clerk of court, they kind of fall through the cracks because we don't have the backup from Department of Corrections or pardons and parole because they haven't been incarcerated, or if they just go to like jail or to a temporary location for a few months or a couple of years. So we also get court orders from the judges relating to wanting them to be classified. And then, of course, reevaluations for those who've been classified as level 2 predator or are looking for reevaluation 10 years post their classification. Once that happens, it's all entered into the database, which those lists do not provide us with any information beyond identifiers for the offender to put them in our system. So our investigators start at ground zero with every offender. We pull their criminal history. The investigators determine all the different offenses that need to be investigated, not just a sex offense, because violent offenses and other offenses need to be investigated as well that are related to risk. Once they compile that information, that then goes into the workflow for evaluators. The evaluators then review all that information. They review prison information. They review community supervision behavior, and they review treatment records. They compile that all into a report and determine and score the risk assessments, and then which is a baseline, and then based on other factors such as protective factors, risk increasing factors, risk reducing factors, make a recommendation to the board within that report. They upload those as soon as they're done, so the board has typically around 3 weeks to review all those reports. The evaluators stop the week before producing reports for that board meeting. So the board has at least that week prior to the board meeting to complete review of all those cases. And then we have our board meeting. And then after the board meeting, we process those letters, and then designated letters go to everyone that's involved that's supposed to receive those letters, which include the offender always gets a letter. If there's a court order, judges and attorneys get the letter. And then, of course, we notify Department of Corrections, pardons and parole, and the GBI about classifications. And I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. And I don't think I asked yet, have all of our board members had an opportunity to read and review the cases?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We can move forward with the level 1 cases. We had 25 level 1 cases. Do we have any recusals?
The recusals are only with Frank, and so that does not have any impact since he is not here.
All right. Do any members have any questions, comments, or concerns about the level 1 cases they reviewed? Okay. Can I get a motion to adopt the level 1 cases that have been presented to the board for review?
So moved, Robbie.
Second, Katie.
Thank you. Tracy, can I get a roll call?
Yes. Mindy?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
Sheriff Brown? Which member, Sheriff, you're on mute. I'll come back to Sheriff Brown. Jerry?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
Robbie?
Aye.
Katie?
Aye.
Sheriff Brown?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Lori?
Aye.
Megan?
Aye.
They all pass.
Okay. Moving on to the level 2 cases. had 38 level 2 cases this month. Do any members have any questions or concerns about the level 2 cases? All right, can I get a motion to adopt the level 2 cases presented to the board?
Lori, so moved.
Megan.
Second. Oh, Liz.
I think, who was that? Lori first and then who? Megan?
Yes.
Yeah, we both talked at the same time. Sorry.
That's okay. So we have Lori is first and Megan is second.
And we did have 2 recusals, correct?
We did, Jim is recused from 2 of the cases, the level 2s, 8392 and 18541. So he will not be voting on those 2 cases. We still
Okay,
have a quorum.
can we get a roll call?
Yes. Mindy,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
Sheriff Brown,
Aye.
Jerry.
You're on mute, Jerry.
Jerry, I think we need to hear your voice though. Oh, there you
Sorry,
are.
I'm having trouble with my audio and it just went away all of a sudden. Aye.
That's good. Thank you. James,
Aye.
Robbie,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Lori,
Aye.
Megan.
Aye.
They were all approved, including the ones that had recusals.
Okay. Moving on with the sexually dangerous predator cases, we had 15 SDPs. Do we have any recusals?
Just Frank.
Okay. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns about the SDP cases for this month? All right. Can we get a motion to adopt the sexually dangerous predator cases that have been presented to the board?
Jerry, so moved.
Robbie, second.
Thank you. And can we get a roll call?
Okay, Mindy, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, and my vote is aye.
Liz, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, and my vote is aye.
Sheriff Brown, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, my vote is aye.
Jerry, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, and my vote is aye.
James, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, my vote is aye.
Robbie, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, and my vote is aye.
Katie, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No. Aye.
Jim, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, and aye.
Lori, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, my vote is aye.
Megan, any questions or concerns by any of the SDPs?
No, my vote is aye.
They pass.
All right, and moving on to the reevaluation cases, looks like we had 10 reevaluation cases this month. Do we have any recusals?
Only Frank.
Okay. Any questions or concerns about the reevaluation cases that were presented? Okay, can I get a motion to adopt the reevaluation cases that have been presented to the board?
Lori, so moved.
I'll second that, James.
Great, thank you. And can I get a roll call?
Yes. Mindy, any questions or concerns by any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Liz, any questions or concerns by any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Sheriff Brown, any questions or concerns by any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Jerry, any questions or concerns by any of the reeval cases?
No, and my vote is aye.
James, any questions or concerns by any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Robbie, any questions or concerns by any of the reeval cases?
No, and my vote is aye.
Katie, any questions or concerns by any of the reeval cases?
No. Aye.
Jim, any questions or concerns by any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Lori, any questions or concerns by any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
And Megan, any questions or concerns by any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
They pass.
Okay. I believe that was 95 cases that were reviewed this month. And again, thank you, of course, to all of our board members. I know that our numbers of cases needing to be reviewed is growing. So thank you very much for your dedication and time spent. And Tracy, if there's not anything else,
Just a quick correction. So by vote, it was 88 cases. And just for the public to know, we also have cases that can't be leveled related to various things such as out-of-state sex offenders that moved to Georgia, that moved back out of Georgia. And we had 7 of those cannot levels, and there can be other reasons for cannot levels, but that's just an example of one of them. And that made 95 based on
I
those
see
7.
that. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
that.
And they're
So
kind of still
88.
considered a classification in the sense that we can't classify. So, but yeah, just for that correction. But other than that, that's it.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for the 88 cases. Yes.
That was a lot of cases because we only had, what, 2 weeks in this round, Amanda, I think. So that's huge.
Yeah.
So the evaluators did a great job. Investigators doing a great job because a lot of court orders that had to be handled, and immediate priority cases had to be handled. So yeah, they're working really hard.
Yes, they are.
We
Thank you.
appreciate you all reading all of them because you figure we have 38 level 2s, 15 SCPs, and 10 reevals. Those are like really tough cases. So that's a lot of reading for y'all to be doing.
Yeah, thank you again. And do we have to motion to adjourn, or can I just adjourn?
Motion.
Motion. Okay. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Jerry.
So moved. Second,
All
Sheriff
right.
Brown.
So I think
Thank you.
Jerry and Jim
Sheriff
Morton.
Brown.
Was it?
It was Sheriff Brown.
Okay. So Jerry first and Sheriff Brown second.
And our board meeting is adjourned at 10:23.
Thank you, everyone, and we will see you on June 12th.